Oh, my mouth is numb from the dentist, but we're gonna get through this. Hello one, hello all, it's the gothiest ghost of them all, Caspa in the flesh, and it's time for a review of Quadeca-Scrapyard. Quadeca, aka Benjamin Lasky, is a singer, songwriter, producer, rapper, and this is a compiled mixtape. And I say compiled because these tracks are also from his EP trilogy, which he released last year, which made my love list, that I thought was fantastic and honestly brings the same elements that were brought on the EP to this mixtape, with elements of emo rap, experimental, psychedelia, glitch pop, folktronica, all the stuff I pretty much tend to clamor to. Also on this mixtape, in opposed to his last album, Sorry to Haunt You, which I enjoyed. Didn't make my year-end list or anything, but definitely a good album, as he had a few collabs on here. But on this mixtape, there's not really too many features at all. It's just singer-songwriter Brackens, along with Kevin Abstract of the now disbanded Brockhampton. And given how I love the new direction Ben is going in, and loving the EP trilogy, which I felt up until now was his best project yet, I saw no reason to not be excited for this mixtape, with great tracks like A La Carte with Brackens, that upon hearing it showed me, okay, he's still like in his experimental emo bag, and that doing well in this realm was definitely not a fluke. And he is consistently progressing in this, where he's like, okay, I showed you my YouTube style, that is in the past, now I'm moving forward and showing you who I am as a developing artist. And bro just goes the distance and just shows so much more ambition and progress on this mixtape, with super expressive pained vocals from both him and Brackens, with dreamy backing vocals and melodies, with a mathy bass breakdown that definitely reminds me of Polyphia, with cutting lyrics like, I'd rather be in my head than inside of you. Well, how many times I couldn't count. It goes so deep and it goes so deep, I'm never pulling out. This is like some horny, poetic, sad boy shit. But yeah, it's definitely a banger. It's dreamy, it's cavernous, it's energetic. And there's also You Don't Know Me Like That I would say carries on the same energetic, somber feel, with these pitched vocals, but man, the record scratches, the grand wall of sound that's so bassy with ascending instrumentation. It's so gorgeous, especially with the pounding beat at the end, with kaleidoscopic keys that makes me feel like I'm being absorbed into this psychedelic portal. There was also Dustcutter, which is the opener for this mixtape, which is one of the lo-fi cuts here, and a great opener with its cavernous electronic sounds, and Ben's high-pitched, chanted vocals. With these choppy flows, it kind of sounds like what would happen if 100 Gex collabed with Animal Collective, and maybe some Bright Eyes. And it's so intense, it's so large, with great emo strum guitars, busy electronics, and a great opener for the mixtape. And it shows he has not lost his touch in providing you with atmospheric tangibility. There's also Easier, that has these heavenly backing vocals, that brings an amalgamation of singer-songwriter folk with psychedelic emo art pop that just floats in time to time against forlorn strum guitars. And what fascinates me is the sonic contrast with how lo-fi the vocals could be, but also how grand and pure the instrumentation is. It's like he's a ghost within his own production, with this ambient, grandiose display of sound that's surrounding him. And there's definitely a lot of ghostly effects that are on this mixtape that I can't get enough of. It really gives more personality to the mixtape. And even when he's rapping, he just sounds so dramatic. He sounds so compelling. Like on What's It to Him, where the enchanted piano lines, the faint guitars, clunky drums, and the choir vocals just make me feel like I'm being wrapped in a flurry of electronics. It makes me feel like I'm going through this transformation. There are tracks, however, I do feel wish were a bit more developed, like Guide Dog, because I feel the way the guitars are strummed. I feel the way the string section comes in. There should have been more. Most of the time though, Ben is bringing a lot of detail to a track, to this mixtape, that he delivers with so much angst, so much passion, so much heartbreak, so much motivation, while keeping everything unsettling, but at the same time beautiful. It's like there's a fragmentation, but within these fragments and within these builds, it's just something to behold. It's something to admire in a way. While what he is saying can be tragic, can be troubling, there's definitely a beauty to behold here. There's something enamoring about this. Under My Skin, I would say, is another example, with these eerie, levitating backing vocals, with these beautiful strings. And even the visceral vocals he gives on Even If I Tried is a beautiful example of that. Because I love the way the vocals are matching the same intensity as the production. And while intensity is building, simultaneously, you are getting these serene moments. You're getting these moments of serenity, of peace, of cool down. That goes into these mountains of sonic layers. Also, Way Too Many Friends, which probably has the most catchiest hook on this mixtape. I got way too many friends, I got way too many friends, I got way too many friends. I love how cavernous the expanding vocals are. And I love how the multiple layered vocals are kind of mirroring the friends that are there. As he speaks on distancing himself from friends to take on other ventures, other ambitions, which is definitely something that I'm sure a lot of us who create content can relate to, or art for that matter, such as Ben. And there are moments that are also very sparse, but immensely build into something epic. Notably on Guess Who, which reads as 100 gecs meets clipping, in a way. And I love how confrontational each verse gets as the track progresses. As we get more white noise coalescing with the white noise in the production progressing through the track, making a more in-depth listen that just commands attention. And also on You Tried That Thing Where You're Human, with this bassy, staticky feedback that turns into these droning tones, melodic beeps, as Ben whimpers into the track with what feels like tears but laughter. It really sounds like he's on the brink of insanity and ready to snap, ready to just break down. Like, it's very, very disturbing, but again, there's also a beauty to it. And the beauty is the production coalescing with it that just evolves into these wide arrays of atmospheric pulsing instrumentation, to these swelling walls of ghostly vocals, to a various display of woodwinds. It's very beautiful, very impactful. And if we could go back to Under My Skin, I do also want to touch on how he has a knack for making a ginormous, impactful transformation in such a short amount of time, where the group vocals sound like where his spirit is trapped in this haunted cathedral that Ben has inhabited, and then has the dry vocals over this busy electronic production. I'm telling you, this is just a mind-bending, chilling album. And we also have the song Being Yourself, with these dark echoing drum patterns and bass, faint twangy guitars with staticky synth leads, and the way the feedback builds, and the melodies ascend, and the vocals are echoing through the track, and then bringing in the pounding drums and descending vocals. It really feels like I'm being sucked into this other world, into this other dimension. It's just dragging me along with it, along with the production. So yes, Ben is truly mastering coalescing minimalism with walls of sonic variety. Even we have an abstract on Texas Blue that has these bright running piano phrases that reminds me a lot of Black Country New Road and their last album. And I love the coalescing of Kevin and Ben's vocals here. It's so beautiful, it's so enchanting, and just creates so much beauty with these colorful woodwinds, and it has so much majesty. It also reminds me of Sufjan Stevens and what he was doing on his last album, or Illinois. And again, it's an absolutely stunning ending, so stellar and just leaves me absolutely mesmerized in awe. So yeah, this is a very personal album from Ben where you are getting his heart and soul displayed to you through his music, mixed with a lot of creativity and risk-taking put into this. So he's not just slapping together the tracks from his EPs and just calling it a mixtape. No. He has actually turned the mixtape tracks and added more tracks to create a very compelling mixtape. And I know the term mixtape better than your album is corny, but that's what it is. This mixtape is better than a lot of albums and better than his albums in many respects. That has just given me a full, intoxicating, mesmerizing experience. And also haunting at the same time. And regardless of the duds this mixtape has, I'm absolutely loving it. I'm feeling a 4.5 out of 5 on this mixtape. If you've given this a listen, what did you think of it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Why? Caspa, Gothic Ghost, Quadeca, Scrapyard mixtape. Till we meet again.